up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about our story of how we met. So I know there's some of you guys that have been asking for this video for a while now, so we are going to deliver because we promised once we were together again we would deliver. So how we met. You want to start it off?
So short story, we met through a mutual friend. I was friends with, we are still friends. Me and my friend Kennedy, she goes by Ken. She set up this group that we all played football like 2 or 3 times a week, and we played ultimate football, so just super chill, super casual, but super, super fun. And we had been doing football pretty much all semester. And it was super fun. And then one day, I kind of knew who Zach was by name before I saw him, because Ken had brought up like people that maybe I could possibly go on a date with. She was just trying to get me to go on a date with somebody. Anyway,
I'm just gonna put it out there, I'm surprised I made that list.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a short list. She was honestly kind of like was trying to come up with people, and was like, well, there's this guy from my mission that, like, he was chill, and like he lives near here, and anyway, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I just didn't really think much of it. I wasn't really wanting to go on any. I wasn't not wanting to go on any dates, but I wasn't pursuing any dates. It wasn't like on the top of my mind right then. Anyway, and then I saw him at one of the football nights, and I remember he was waiting. There's like this it wasn't really a bench. You were sitting on this side of the wall, cinder block wall, sitting there talking to another girl from Ken and You's mission. And I don't know, like, I noticed him, and that's whenever I put 2 and 2 together, like, oh, this is who she was talking about. That's Zach. And I just didn't really think anything of it. Not gonna lie. We just played football, and like I remember like seeing him there and like saying things in passing that had to do with the game, like good catch, good throw. He was pretty good at throwing, and I can't throw, but I can catch, and so there was a couple.
The dynamic duo right here.
Well, I mean, I didn't really think that. I mean, in his head, we were the dynamic duo. In my head, I was open, and he threw it to me. So, but we got to know each other at least a little bit that way. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say I really thought much of it at that point, but. You can tell your side because your side is very different.
Well, I never heard of her until I came to football that one night. They'd invited me to football a bunch, and I kind of forgot about it. And so I went a little bit, like, long before I ever met her. So then I stopped going for like 2 months, and then I ran into a friend at the store, and he's like, dude, you should come to football on Thursday. He said, a bunch of friends come, it'd be awesome. I was like, okay, maybe I'll go. Then I decided I would go. It was the Thursday after Halloween, I remember that. And I went, and I saw the most beautiful girl of my life. And I noticed her. I was like, dang, okay. So obviously, as one does, I took every opportunity I could to throw it to her, to be able to talk to her and give her high fives.
Everyone noticed that you kept kicking it to me whenever you do like the kickoff, and I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, oh dang, I get to catch it, because normally I don't catch the kickoffs.
I tried my best to give every opportunity, every ball to her that I possibly could, so I did.
Even when you were on the other team.
I did that.
With the kickoffs.
Yep. So, and then I made it a point that when I was on the opposite team. So ultimate football, it's like ultimate frisbee, but with football. So when I was on the other team, I would try to defend her, even though she was faster than me at that point, because I didn't start running then. But yeah, I'd always try to be around her as much as I could, and you didn't even know.
No, I didn't know.
But fast forward maybe 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
I had been talking about her behind her back to all my friends, to my family, to
Not
my
like
parents.
in a mean way.
Very good way. I was telling everybody about this beautiful girl at football and how I was so scared to talk to her and I wanted to get her number, but I didn't know how to do it because I was nervous because she was so beautiful and she probably had a boyfriend. But then observing for a couple weeks, I noticed she wasn't going off with any guys that were there. She was going off with a group of girls. So I was like, well, maybe she doesn't. And sure enough, she didn't. So what I did was I got her number, and you should tell that part.
This part's kind of funny. So it was after football. We're like all like breathing heavy and like sweating and just gross. I felt gross. I was ready to go home and take a shower.
She looked so good.
And we're like, I'm walking. I'm pretty sure I was talking to Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Ken, and we were just like walking back to the car because at that point it's like super chilly, so we weren't walking to football anymore. Before that, we had walked, but I was walking to the car. And most of my friends were in the car already, but I was talking to Ken and we were walking, and then Zach stops. Well, doesn't like stop me, but like kind of walks toward me, so I stop. And also, actually, I don't actually think that I stopped because I didn't realize you were talking to me.
No, you kept walking.
I kept walking, but you said, "Hey."
I said, "Hey, Chantel."
I swear I didn't hear his name. I didn't hear him say my name.
She looked and she kind of looked away again, and I was like,
I heard him say like "hey" or something like that. I didn't realize he said that. He said my name, and so I turned to him like I was like, "Are you talking to me?"
Like, no, I'm talking to the other Chantel behind you.
And actually, I think you had actually said, "Hey, Chantel, can I get your number?"
Yeah.
And then I looked behind me. I remember looking behind me at
She
like
did do
Ken,
that.
and I was like, and then I looked back and there's nobody behind me, and I was like, "Are you talking to me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm talking to you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." Like, I mean, I didn't really have time to process anything. Did I actually say
She
sure?
said sure.
I'm pretty sure I said sure.
I was like, well, she has zero interest. Great. Like, this sucks. But she gave me her number.
I did give him my number.
I didn't think it was a real number, I'm going to be honest, at first. But I was so nervous, so I didn't text her for like an hour.
That's so sad that I had so little faith in the kindness of my heart.
I didn't know her yet.
Yeah?
She's a little bit scary because she's so good at football that I was a little bit intimidated. So I was like,
apparently I would give out fake numbers.
And she's so attractive, so I was like,
I've never done that. I've never given out a fake number to
that's
anyone.
good. I was like, she'd probably get so much attention. So I was thrilled that I got the number, but then I was like, the way she acted, like you seemed so uninterested at first. But
Well,
I think
I was caught off guard. Not gonna lie, I hadn't really thought about going on a date with you. I hadn't really thought about dating anyone. Like, no one that I had been talking to or seeing regularly at all was I thinking, oh, I seem interested in them. And I just kind of wasn't in a state of mind of that right then, where I was looking for somebody to go out with or talk to. And so I was just kind of caught off guard, and I legitimately thought you were talking to somebody behind me for a second. And especially because like I was like a mess. I don't know. After football,
she looked gorgeous.
I always wore sweatpants and a hoodie and like my beat up blazers, and my hair was always in the messiest bun or ponytail. And so I just was like, there's no way he's talking to me right now. But apparently
she looked incredible. You looked incredible.
Thank you.
So I get the number. I go off with my friend that I went to football with that night, and I was like, dude, I got it. Like, let's freaking go. There's a bird sitting right behind the camera just chirping away, so don't mind the bird.
I think it sounds cute.
It's kind of cute.
Hopefully it's cute.
It almost looks like a parrot. Well, it flew away. It was like red and a little bit yellow. Anyways, so we're sitting in the car, and I'm like, dude, like, I got it. Now what? I mean, I knew now what. I had to text her, but... So we spent like 15 minutes scheming up a text that went something like, hey. Or no, what did I say?
I don't remember exactly what you said. Like, hey, this is Zach.
Yeah, hey, this is Zach from football or something. And then
like that.
Within like 5 minutes, she responded. I was like,
That's
what?
because it's dumb for you to sit there and wait to text them back after you've seen the text. Like, if you've seen the text, just text back. It's not cool to wait.
Exactly. Well, like,
I mean, okay, I understand if you're waiting because you're trying to draft. Like, if it's like a long reply or you need to think about what you're going to say. But, I mean, if somebody just texts you, just text back.
Exactly. I mean, most girls don't. They take like 30 minutes to an hour to respond.
Well, like
from
I've
my
seen
past
that.
experience. So
well,
I was like,
and I've done that
5
before
minutes?
too with
It's
people
like,
where it's
dang.
like, oh, I can't show that I'm super interested, so I need to wait. I don't want them to know that I was waiting for them to text, so I need to wait. Or I don't want them to think that they have any hope or a chance, so I need to wait. It's like a game, and I was just like, at that point, I was kind of just like, okay, like we're texting, he seems cool, like I'm just gonna respond.
Yeah. So
yeah.
she responded, and then I proceeded to text her for like 3 or 4 days and ask her every question under the sun over text.
Every first date question he had already asked over text.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I respect that he was like, okay, let me get to know this chick. And, like, actually, like, see what I'm about before deciding to go on a date with me. But 3 days of, like, questions was a lot.
And compliments. I complimented you a couple of times.
That is true. They're very benign compliments, though. They're very friendly.
I called her beautiful.
In those 3 days you called me beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't think you remember that super clearly. But I just remember being like, okay, we're gonna have nothing to talk about if he asks me out. If he ever asks me out.
So I got her number on Saturday. I texted her Sunday. We went on a trip to Jackson Hole. I was texting her that day. That day I told her
We
that she
as
was
in him and
beautiful.
his family, not we as in me.
Yeah, my family and I. And I'm texting her Sunday. I'm texting her all day Monday. Texting her all day Tuesday. And then Tuesday night was football. And so I was like, okay. I wasn't really thinking anything of it. I see her. I was like, hey, what's up? Like, we start talking a little bit. And then I run into Ken. And Ken's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what do you mean, what am I doing? She's like, ask her out or she's going to stop talking to you. Like, actually. I was like, oh, gosh. So I was like,
I hope she wasn't that scary.
She was like pretty serious. She's like, you got to do it now or never. I was like, okay, I'm doing it now then.
Yeah.
So after football that night, she's like, she has no plans tonight. Go do something with her tonight. So I said, okay. So I went up to Chantel. I said, hey, you want to go get Dutch Bros? I had no idea Dutch Bros was like her favorite place.
Well, you said hot chocolate, and then I was like, I don't actually drink hot chocolate.
True.
But
it was cold that day.
It was cold, but I don't drink hot chocolate. You didn't know that, though.
No.
But
So she said yes.
I said yes, and I was like, but I'll probably get something else. Or maybe I said I wouldn't get anything at all, and then I think you clarified that we're going to Dutch, and I was like, actually, I love Dutch, just not the hot chocolate.
Yes.
But yeah, but to clarify the whole Ken, apparently threat.
We're gonna pause for the helicopters.
Okay. So to clarify the situation with Ken and maybe what sounded like a now or never kind of thing, I was just kind of getting, it wasn't necessarily the ick, but it was like I was starting to lose interest because it's like, this isn't really going anywhere. He must just like want to be friends. Like if he wanted to ask me out, he would have already. I was like, and I was already at the point where I was like, what are we gonna talk about on our first date? Like he's asked all the questions about like he knows all my siblings' names at this point. Like
I knew everything basically.
I didn't know, not everything, but like
Not
all of the like first date kind of things where it's like, okay, like tell me about your family, tell me about like what you're doing in school or like what your aspirations are. Like literally we had already talked about like what I was in school to do, why I was here in Idaho, like just so many different things, which was kind of nice to have like actual conversation beforehand, but I was just like, okay, can't we just like do this in person?
But then we go from football to Dutch Bros, and we go from Dutch Bros, we get hot chocolate, we just go on a drive. Go drive through the hills, through the fields and everything up in the middle of nowhere. And then we start seeing all these cars parked on the side of the road.
We're like, what is going on?
What is happening?
And then from inside the car, the sky looked kind of orange.
And it
like
was
I was
pitch
like,
black.
and I was like, is there like a fire? Like what is going on? And then we come out, we pull over to the side of the road with them. We like walk out of the car, and then we notice that it's literally the Northern Lights.
Because the car has super dark tints, you can barely see the color.
Yeah, so that's why it looked orange.
Yeah. So we get out, the sky's bright red.
Well, it wasn't really. Well,
it was like
kind
a
of.
I'll put
there was
up
a
pictures.
patch. Yeah, there was a patch of red, but then underneath the red was where you could see the green and the purples and the blues. But you could honestly see the Northern Lights better through the camera.
Yeah.
Than you could, but it was still super cool. Like just like with the bare eye, but
That was the first time in my life I'd ever seen Northern Lights.
same. I'd never seen the Northern Lights before. It was super cool, and like it was a weird, not weird coincidence, but like just crazy that it happened at the same time. But we don't believe in coincidences,
Now
so
we look
that
back,
was
we're
supposed to happen.
God literally like aligned the stars or whatever for that one night. For that, I mean,
I'm not sure that that's how the Northern Lights work, but
hey, maybe it is.
something happened, and they were the Northern Lights, and we were able to watch Northern Lights for the first time together on our first like hangout date.
I considered it a date. She didn't because it wasn't.
In the moment, I didn't consider it a date because he asked me literally 2 seconds before he left to go.
It's true.
Like, he was like, we were at football, and he was like, hey, do you want to go get hot chocolate? And I was like, sure. But in my head, it wasn't a date. It was like hanging out. Which was better than just texting.
Yeah. So that was fun. That was awesome. And the conversation, like, honestly just flowed. I don't feel like there was any dead spot. There was no, like, awkward silence or anything. It just kind of flowed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I could see this going somewhere. Like, instantly I was like, when I first saw her, I could just feel something that she was special. Let's just put it that way. And then every time I went out with her and hung out with her after that, it just got stronger and stronger. So that was Tuesday night. Wednesday we didn't do anything. Thursday night we played football again, and I had invited her to come to Buffalo Wild Wings with my friends and I. So we did that. And then Friday night we didn't do anything.
Yeah, but we had a date planned. You like officially asked me out on a date for Saturday.
Yes.
And so we went out Saturday night. And Saturday night we went to a Brazilian steakhouse.
Mm-hmm.
And we... What did we do after that? Then we went back to your house and watched a movie.
Yep.
And, okay, this is... I don't actually know if I told you this. But I felt so overdressed. I got, like... I had, like, a skirt on and a nice shirt and did my hair all up.
Beautiful outfit.
And he was wearing jeans. And I felt so overdressed. I was so self-conscious. I was like, I look like I was like way like overthinking this, or I don't know what I thought I looked like, but I thought that I was definitely way more dressed up than you were. And so I was definitely starting to overthink the second that I saw you. I was either one, I was like, I look like I'm trying too hard, or two, he doesn't care that much.
Neither of those things were in my head. I just thought she looked beautiful, and I was so excited. And I held her hand that night. Yeah,
that is true.
That was super fun. We went and got dinner, and then we went... Did we get dessert too? We just got dinner, and then we
got dinner.
Went to my house. We watched a movie. Did you fall? You fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep for a minute. Not for very long. I kind of fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
And that's whenever I like met multiple of his family members. Whenever I came, met his mom, his dad, little siblings. His little sister told me that he only dated 18-year-olds.
Yep, she said, how old are you? She said, I'm 20. And she said, Zach only dates 18-year-olds.
And I was like,
I actually don't know any single girl that's ever been 18 that I've taken out. So
I was just like, okay, I didn't know how legit to take the comment, but it was just funny.
That was a little embarrassing. She has gotten better, but she still says things sometimes where I'm like, what are you talking about? It's so random.
I mean, it just is what little kids do.
It's true. I thought about it a little bit on the first date, like, that I kind of wanted to kiss her, but I was like, that's the first official date. I probably shouldn't try that. And I don't know what she would have thought, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But we definitely cuddled up on the couch. She fell asleep for a little bit. I held her hand, so I was like, okay, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then the next day...
Wait, I feel like we should say your first kiss for a different...
Oh, for a different video.
Well, I just feel like this is the how we met video. We're way past how we met.
We are way past how we met.
We are way past how we met.
Anyways, we will save the next part after the first official date for next video.
Yeah, all of the, like, becoming official and first kiss and all of that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a story. Not as much of a story, I feel like, but a little bit of a story. Yeah. We can save it for later.
Perfect.
Another video. Another day.
video.
Another sleigh. Another day. Another sleigh. Another day. Another sleigh. You have to take that out. That was really cringy.
That's staying in.
Another day, another sleigh. That's crazy. I can't believe I said that.
Is that gonna be your new saying?
Oh no.
No?
No.
Not your new saying?
No. Not my new saying.
It was kind of cute though.
No. Anywho.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
That's our How We Met and
A
some.
jumbled up version of How We Met. But it was a little bit, it wasn't really jumbled up. I feel like it went pretty linearly.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit different in my head of how it went versus your head because it's two totally different perspectives.
It was because you were obsessed with me and
I wasn't obsessed. I mean, kind of, but I was a little bit obsessed in my head.
Well, maybe not obsessed. Obsessed probably isn't the right word. You were more intrigued with me than I was with you.
I was very
at the
interested.
beginning.
I was very interested right off the bat.
It took me a lot longer to get to where he started at.
That is true.
I think I'm just a careful and cautious and guarded person, so.
It is true. But look where we are now.
It worked out.
Okay, thanks you guys for watching. Bye.
What was that?